and welcome to, well, obviously not my break room. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Heather, and this is the show where I talk about all things pop culture. And this week, we're going to talk about wrestling. Why wrestling, you might ask? Well, why not? It's kind of awesome. And it's something I've always been pretty passionate about. So what's my wrestling story, and why should you listen to me? Well, I grew up in the 1980s watching matches, whatever hit free TV, say Saturday Night's Main Event, or whatever else came on. I'm talking Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and Andre the Giant. We didn't have cable growing up, so I only got bits and pieces through the late 80s and the early 90s until I started working and was able to help my folks pay for cable. And did I ever pick a good time to start watching regularly? I'm talking 1995, 1996, the start of the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, SmackDown, Raw, Nitro, EC whatever was going on. My mom happened to be into it as much as I was, which was awesome. And in fact, the first 2 or 3 live shows that I ever went to were with her. We were seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, Trish Stratus, the Hardy Boys and Lita, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, The Undertaker. To quote The Miz, it was awesome. By the late 2010s, I wasn't watching super regularly. We were still in the Divas era. Vince McMahon was booking whatever made him laugh that week. The rosters weren't always great. I was still keeping up with pay-per-views. Sorry, Simon Miller. Premium live events. But I was probably watching more NXT at that point than anything else because the TakeOver shows were almost always brilliant. Go watch TakeOver Brooklyn if you don't believe me. Watch the Sasha Banks and Bayley match and tell me if it isn't an all-time classic. It was a banger. I, at that point, was super in for WWE Evolution, which was the all-women's pay-per-view. I was super into women's wrestling, which I still am. But even that show wasn't enough to keep me watching week to week. I still went to some live events, TLC 2018, some Raw and SmackDown tapings, and hands down, the worst premium live event that I have ever been to, Payback 2017 in San Jose. Go watch the House of Horrors match, or maybe don't. Randy, Bray, so bad. Anyways, still kept up a little bit, but then 2020 happened. We all know what happened, and wrestling became just about the only live thing that was happening, and it felt like one of the few things that was giving me a connection outside of my house. It was a little beacon of hope and a little bit of normality, so I started watching everything I could. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW Dynamite, TNA, anything I could find. Are we calling it Impact these days? Whatever. My passion was reignited. I was lucky enough this past year to get to go to WrestleMania 39 down at SoFi Stadium. I got to meet Rhea Ripley, I might add. Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley. And I already have tickets for WrestleMania in Philly next year. I've got tickets to a Super Show and a Raw coming up next month, and I am fully committed. I will be super upfront, guys. I don't watch AEW week to week. I work full-time, I'm a full-time student, so fitting 4 or 5 more hours of wrestling into my week just isn't possible right now. But I was there 5 years ago for the original All In, and I ponied up the $50 this past weekend to watch All In from Wembley Stadium, and good on them for putting on such a successful stadium show. I can't imagine how hard that was for a smaller production to put on a show like that. It was great. It was a solid show from top to bottom, and the storyline at the end of it, MJF and Cole, was phenomenal. Fantastic storytelling. And if this YouTube thing ever pays the bills, I will absolutely cover every wrestling show there is. I'll do Impact, I'll do whatever y'all want. Again, if this works out, I can start covering some NXT stuff as well. And honestly, that's a little bit of what this video is about right here, and the next few. These are practice and experimentation for this channel. I'm still learning how to edit and add some flair, so be patient with me because I'm not super great with tech. And you might have actually noticed that I did change the name of this channel from Welcome to My Break Room, which we, again, aren't in this week, to Squared Circles and Silver Screens. It's a reflection of what I hope this will be about going forward. Not just movie and TVs, but also wrestling. But I will get back to some of that TV and movie stuff probably after the SAG-AFTRA strike finishes up. So, with Payback this week, as the time of this recording. I thought I'd give my opinions on storyline stuff at the near halfway point of the WWE calendar, with a little bit over 7 months until WrestleMania in Philly. I'll give you what I think is going to happen at Payback this weekend. And before we go any further, I just want to talk a bit about the devastating loss of Bray Wyatt this past week. My heart is broken. It is. I didn't know the guy, obviously. None of us do. But I just feel so heartbroken for his wife JoJo, for his brother, for the rest of the Rotunda family, and beyond that, his WWE family. It was etched on the faces of his coworkers at the tribute show, at SmackDown, their social media posts. You could see it on Seth Rollins' face on his Instagram post, Becky Lynch at the end of Raw this week. We lost a true icon. They did, we did, the industry did. I don't think we're ever going to see somebody, a true genius like Bray Wyatt ever again. And I would imagine that we hear really quickly that they will be inducting Bray Windham into the WWE Hall of Fame, and I wouldn't be shocked if they don't make it maybe a singular inclusion. Just dedicate the whole show to him. And also, we lost Terry Funk, and over the last year we lost Jay Briscoe. It's been a rough year for wrestling. But enough heavy stuff. Let's talk Payback and where we are in our major storylines, barring the stuff with the bloodline, because as of right now, I don't know what's happening with that. So stay tuned next week as well, because I'm going to do some grading for the SmackDown and Raw rosters, where I think everybody's at, who we haven't seen, who is that person, I don't know. We'll go through that. So as of recording for this week, I will go through our current card for Payback 2023. So, our matches. We are going to start out with Seth frickin' Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the World Heavyweight title. So, I think the build for this match has been amazing. I love that we are, for maybe the first time ever, really presenting Shinsuke Nakamura as a credible threat. I think letting him cut his promos in his native Japanese has obviously made him more comfortable, and it's been a stroke of genius. I think we're seeing more of Shin than we've ever gotten to see on WWE TV. It's allowed his personality to shine through. The internet buzz is that Seth really does have some broken vertebrae in his back. So the build, blending like we are, the shoot and the work elements, which is something I think the WWE has excelled at this year, has really been great. I honestly don't think it's time to take that belt off Seth just yet, so unless he legitimately needs time off to heal up, my feeling is that he retains, and that this probably will carry on at least into Survivor Series. Up next on the card list that I have is Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a steel cage match. My script literally has a sigh right there, just so you guys know. And that sigh is for both current women's matches on the card, and the lack of a third women's match on the card. The second one I'll cover right after this one, but this match should damn well have happened at SummerSlam. I feel like the boat sailed on this feud. I think that we did a disservice to Becky, to Trish, to Rhea, to Raquel, to all of the women who were not featured at Backlash or at SummerSlam. This feud for Becky and Trish is just dragging on. We just feel like we just keep adding new stipulations just to keep pushing the story forward. Both women are amazing. I mean, don't forget that Trish Stratus is in her damn 40s. And I think, as Becky put it, they are turning lemons into lemonade, but the crowd is just going to use this match as a bathroom break if it's in mid-card. I think Becky has to win. I think that's what we have to do here so that we can push her into, hopefully, a title feud for one of the two women's belts. I think that Trish can either hang around after this match, maybe have a feud with Zoe Stark, because maybe she costs her the match, I don't know. Or she can ride off into the Canadian sunset as, a star. But I think Becky wins this match with a disarmer. After that, we get Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez for the women's world title. Part 2. I get that Liv Morgan got hurt, and obviously that put a wrench in the plans for this match. But this match needed to happen at SummerSlam, especially since we've had very little build-up really to this match. Sure, they've jumped each other a few times, but we've also jobbed out Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, and there could have been a better build. We've also had Rhea beat Natalya on house shows about 47 bajillion times. I'm assuming Natalya lost a bet or something. I don't know. But we could have built this a lot better. We could have played off the actual real friendship of Rhea and Raquel. We could have made Rhea look like a dominant champion by having her beat the jobber of the week that wasn't Indy and Candice. I get that she's one of the faces of this company, who really should have been at SummerSlam, guys, not just at ringside. But with her doing double and I guess almost triple duty with the Judgment Day stuff, plus the NXT stuff with Dominic Mysterio, her own championship is getting overlooked. She should be made out to be the monster that we know that she is. And we just haven't done that. We haven't done that since WrestleMania. So I think that Rhea does have to beat Raquel here, but I'm just not as invested as I should be. And I am a massive Rhea Ripley stan. I paid to meet her last year. I might put the picture here again. But this feud has to continue in the Survivor Series. It just has to. And I'm going to guess that it will have implications for Royal Rumble. And yes, I'm talking about Royal Rumble that is like 5 months away. Next up, we have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest in a Steel City street fight for the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles. Please don't make me say that again. Alright, with Sami and KO both back off the shelf, it's great to see the tag titles being defended again. I think that we all know that Finn Balor and Damian Priest are not going to be able to coexist, and I'm sure that Human Funko Pop, JD McDonough, is going to insert himself in again, and shenanigans will ensue. I can't help but feel that the Judgment Day storyline is going to drown out this actual championship match. And I think WWE desperately needs to figure out what to do with both tag divisions. The women's division is cursed, and this belt has become an afterthought. But I think that Sami and KO are going to walk out winners, because I can't imagine that Balor and Priest are going to be able to get along. Bonus points if Rhea Ripley manhandles KO again at ringside. Give us Kevin Owens versus Rhea Ripley. It's the match we all deserve. Alright. Next up, we've got Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the WWE United States title. I think this match is also going to have shenanigans. I think either Theory is going to manage to get himself DQ'd because he's a coward, or Santos Escobar is going to interfere. Either way, I think that we do keep these belts on Rey until Survivor Series, where I hope that we're going to have extricated Austin Theory from this and made it Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. I think that he's going to want to get that belt, because I think that deep down it was supposed to be his belt. I don't see Theory winning here. I think that he's about to plummet down the card, maybe send him down to NXT and retool his character. I don't know. Up last on the currently announced match card is LA Knight versus The Miz. Yeah! The megastar has to back up his talk with a decisive win. Good on trips to the WWE for listening to fans and giving us what we think that we want. Now it's up to LA Knight to show us that he is everything that he says he is. Miz can always eat a loss, that doesn't really matter, and a win just helps move LA Knight up the card towards either the US or the Intercontinental titles. I think LA Knight wins with blunt force trauma for a clean win, 1, 2, 3. I think that's what we have to do. I do honestly hope that we are getting Gunther versus Chad Gable, although I don't know about the timing. If Gunther hasn't crossed that line past the Honky Tonk Man's record, then we'll wait. But I think Chad has to be the one that takes that belt off, and then I think that moves him up the card. The only other thing that we're getting is, so far, is Grayson Waller doing a Waller effect with Cody Rhodes. I'm sure shenanigans will entail there, and maybe they have an impromptu fight. I don't know. Still haven't figured out how we're getting Cody into the main event scene, but again, Bloodline stuff has taken a back seat right now, so we'll see. Alright, that is about all I've got for Payback 2023. Like I said, guys, I'm going to be doing 2 more videos over the next couple of weeks, where I'm going to be giving you my opinions on the SmackDown and Raw rosters. I'll also talk about the current belt holders and where I think long-term we're going storyline-wise with that. So don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, drink water, love hard, and fight all the isms wherever you see them. The world can be tough, guys. So never, ever be afraid to love what you love, who you love, and love yourself. All right. Bye.